Welcome to Desktop DIY. Today we are going to be making paper climbers. For this project you'll need some masking tape or scotch tape, a pencil, scissors, a straw, about 2 feet of yarn, and about a 1/4 sheet of paper. The first thing we're going to do is draw our character onto our 1/4 sheet. We want to make sure it covers a good part of the scrap paper here. As you can see, my robot has a really big middle section. This will be really important later as we're going to be attaching the straws to the back of it. So you can draw whatever you want, just make sure that middle bit is pretty big. After you've drawn your character, make sure you go ahead and cut it out. And then we'll get ready for our next step. Now that our character is cut out, we're going to attach the straws to the back of him. Now we'll add our straw to the back, but first we have to measure it to make sure we cut them the right size. So take your straw and place it on the back of your character. You want it to be almost totally covering the back part. In order to measure without a marker or a pen, I just go ahead and fold the straw. This makes a crease to show me where I can cut it. Then I cut the straw right where I made the crease. When I have my piece cut out, I place the full straw on top of the piece I just cut to make sure I have 2 equal-sized pieces. Now we'll attach our straws to the back of our character. This doesn't have to be perfect placement. As long as they have a little space in between, your climber will work just fine. So now we're going to get our tape ready. Now I'm just going to go ahead and tape my straws on there. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as they're securely attached to the back and have a little space in between, you should be all set. Now we're going to thread our yarn through the straws so we can make our character move. Now the yarn is probably going to be too thick to go through the straw. So we're going to use our tape to make the yarn thin enough to go through our straw. You're just going to take a piece of tape and wrap it very, very tightly around one end of your yarn. Wrap the tape as far down the yarn as you can. You want the tape to cover as much area on the yarn as possible. And then you want to give the tape a good twist. This will thin the tape and yarn even more and should make it thin enough to go through our straw. Now we'll take the taped end of the yarn and thread it up through our first straw. Then pull it out the top. And then thread it down into the second straw. We want to make sure we have a loop by our character's head and have the 2 pieces of yarn trailing by the feet of our character. So now that we've double checked that our loop is at the head of our character and the ends of the yarn are at the feet, we're ready to give him a test. What you're going to want to do is secure that loop to something. You can use a tack or tape and place it on a table or a wall with an adult permission. And to make it operate, after you've secured the loop, you'll take your 2 ends of yarn and pull them away from each other. And this will let your character travel up the yarn. Now your climber should be all set. Thanks for watching. Share your desktop DIY creations with us on any of our social media sites.